Good morning, LinkedIn. My name is Matt Hames, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Digital and Social Strategy at 3 Enrollment Marketing. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about AI in search and why it matters. So let's get into this. When you search on Google for a school by name, this is what you see, basically. So this is the desktop version. To backtrack a little bit, in 2018, Google launched the search engine results page for higher education around the world, and they formalized what it looked like when you search for a school by name. So, as you can see, they said, here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like when you search for a school by name. They all kind of look the same. There are some differences. You can see some differences in some colors. You can see some blues on here if the school happens to be a yellow school. When Google first launched this product, it was just red and blue. So the University of Knoxville, the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, was probably a very light red because they didn't have yellow. They soon incorporated some different blues, some different yellows, some different reds. So a school that is very yellow comes across as yellow, but you don't see a lot of yellow on this, right? So you don't see a lot of red on a very red school. So what you're looking at is a search engine results page for schools based on the search, based on a brand query. In other words, they search for the school by name. And, barring a couple of little things here like getting Twitter on the front or having images on the front, these basically all look the same, right? They all just kind of look the same. There's not a lot of similarities in how you can stand out. Now, there are some ways that you can definitely stand out when you get into social platforms. There are ways. So if you're a red school like a Rutgers, for instance, you can use the templates that exist out there to make your school a lot more red. You can basically organize how people view you in your digital presence, right? So like schools can basically turn this templated look because like Facebook is Facebook is Facebook and Instagram looks like it does. So schools can change that a little bit through the images at the very top, through logos, through color schemes, so they can make sure that they genuinely look the same, right? But you can't do anything about this. There's not much you can do. Like, other than get Twitter on, other than get some other images on, other than get some videos on, you're basically, your newly aware student is basically going to look at your school the same as it looks at every other school. And until they actually get here, they're just going to be experiencing your school in a templated view, right? So again, it can be turned into something a little bit more. And digital professionals at universities are doing phenomenal work turning the templates that we use, be it Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, into more well defined spaces for their school's brand. So, again, this is not a criticism. This is the world that we live in, right? We live in this world where we can't really control the main template, the search engine results page. We can control the next template where people come in and take a look. But, at a school, I'm showing you just some examples. There are many other examples where the brand is not red, it's not the right logo. So we're not in total control of how it looks on these templated platforms. We're not in control of the voice on these templated platforms. So what does that all mean, right? This is search was and continues to be the plumbing of the internet, if you will. Like everything starts with search. When search went into the browser windows, everything kind of changed. Like we just type in the browser windows the things that we're interested in. When we're newly aware of a school, we type in the school, right? But what we don't use search for is to determine who should be on our list, like what we should know, right? And that's where AI can come in. And that's where AI is coming in. So you can type in something like, tell me about schools in my state. And then, um, an AI will start telling you about schools. That's not a search that you can do on Google. If you type in, tell me about schools in my state, you're going to get US News and World Report. You're going to get a review sites. You're not going to get just a list of schools from the internet, basically. And as you refine these kinds of searches, you can type in different refines. Show me publics in my state. Show me privates in my state. Compare prices. List from the, the, the highest price to the lowest price. Show me the cost after aid. Now, all that said, the cost after aid is on the SERP, but it's kind of hidden amongst a bunch of information. So while the search engine results page is a very important place to understand, it's not awesome for higher education. That search engine results page is not as good of a place as this can potentially be. So when you look at something like this is a much more rich and has much more potential to offer students answers to their questions. So just about every 13 to 17-year-old right now has Snapchat, and they've got an AI assistant inside of their Snapchat, and they're starting to explore what they can do. So the behavior of learning about a school in the spring, as we start to talk to juniors in high school, and we start to generate awareness for the schools in our high school. The behavior for the last dozen or so years has been to go to Google to find more. Well, as that shifts, they're not going to just go to Google to find more. They're going to go to AIs to find more. Whether it's their AI assistant inside of Snapchat or an AI assistant on the internet, they are going to go here because this is a different kind of search. This is an overwhelming answer. Again, I want to be clear. The search engine results page is a very unique product, but it is somewhat overwhelming. People don't know where to click. Where can I find the information? And when you look on mobile, it's even more kind of overwhelming. You're scrolling forever to find the .edu. You're looking at Wikipedia first. You're looking at a bunch of questions. Are you interested in admissions? Do you want to know the costs? Like it's trying to answer every question that somebody might ask at all times. Whereas AI can answer the question you're interested in at the time you're interested in it. So that's the shift. And I think that shift is important. It's a it's it's still kind of like, as you look at this, you can still Google it. It's still tied to Google. This is Google Bard. So we're not fully there yet. There's still massive amounts of people who are going to use search. So caring about your search engine results page is very, very important. But understanding what's coming and how you can position your school to what's coming is what we're really interested in at 3E. So the good news is that um, there are things that you can do. There are things that you can do. Um, I'm going to talk about that more as the summer goes. Some of the things that you can do. There's a lot of places that you can find out more information about it. You can be very disciplined about what you do. That's an important thing to understand. Be disciplined about what it is that you want people to do. Be disciplined about how you want people to find you. So this summer on tours, be very disciplined about what you want people to do. If you want to find out more information, Google this. If you want to find out more information about us, ask your Snapchat assistant to tell you about student life at your school. So be disciplined about the things that you want people to do, and be disciplined about don't leave it to people to just go Google your school's name. So be disciplined in your tours. Say, when you go back home and you talk to your family, tell them to do this. Don't just say, I'm really interested in X school, and then let them go off and Google the school, because they're not going to find as much information as you possibly can. So be disciplined about it. That's all. Um, Here's some discipline calls to action that you can look at. Um, you know, tell your family to look on Facebook to see how you'll fit in. There's very disciplined call to actions that you can do. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about the Institute for Higher Education, which is like weeks away. It's only a few weeks away now. So this is just a glimpse of the kinds of things we're going to talk about. If you're watching this on desktop, then you can scan this to find out more. The Institute of Higher Education is an annual institute that looks into where higher education is and where higher education could be going. It involves enrollment professionals, marketing professionals, presidents. It's a it's a place that we can all come together in a nice setting and think about the future of higher education from an enrollment perspective, but also just from many other perspectives. So take a look at this. If you're looking at this on a desktop, you can scan the QR code. That's right there. If you're looking at this on mobile, thanks for staying this long because it's hard to watch something on mobile this long. So I appreciate it. But a link will be in the on underneath this eventually. We also have a couple of webinars coming up, so you can take a look at some of the webinars. In fact, there's one today at 2 o'clock. So you can register for this webinar. We're going to talk about the funnel. We're going to talk about how data can drive the funnel. So register for that. If you're interested, use this QR code or visit 3enrollment.com/events. 3enrollment.com/events. We're going to be talking a lot more about AI. One of my colleagues, Natalie, has already done 2 presentations on AI and the importance of it in your marketing. So watch our spaces, 3enrollment.com/events, to see upcoming webinars, or scan this code if you're watching this on desktop, to see upcoming webinars on both data and AI and the future of marketing. So um, thanks for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this live. Again, webinar today at 2 o'clock, 3enrollment.com/events. If you're interested in more information on the Institute for Higher Education, it is 3enrollment.com/institute. And we hope to see you at some of our upcoming events. And thank you so much for joining me this morning in this live. And I hope you have a very, very good day.